Okay, folks, welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Welcome to Friday Night Politics. Welcome to the show. Those of you who are following us tonight, what a week! And the week is even longer because there is still more politics. There is still more campaigning to be done in Liberia. A lot of politics, a lot to be done. So, welcome to the show tonight. Tonight, we will be discussing the politics of the week, Friday night politics. My name is Sam Gadu, along with a couple of my colleagues that will be joining me earlier on into the show. But on a special note, I'm glad that you are following us. I'm asking you to share the link, share the broadcast, invite other people, and even those who want to partake, who want to be a part of the show tonight. This is what we do. We open it up to the entire listening audience and our viewers, those who want to partake. We will drop the link into our broadcast so that you can be a part if you want to be a part. Some of you just probably just want to listen, comment, or give us stars. You know, the beautiful thing about giving stars is nobody knows who's giving the stars. So just click down the link and click the stars, man. Because the more stars you give us, the more you share it. You know, Facebook compensate us as a platform, as a network for that, and eventually we'll be able to generate some income to take care of our network. Hopefully, we'll get to that point one day. But give us the stars, follow us, share us. Um, Share us just like this guy, this big guy that I have right here, who is always telling us to share, right? I'm looking for his picture. The screen that I just had, this guy right here, who was always telling you, follow Talk TV Media, share Talk TV Media. That's what you want to do. Very clear. All right. Yeah. So give us thumbs up, just like that. That other guy, yeah, give us thumbs up, just like this other dude right there. You know, we'll be glad. But on a serious note, folks, yeah, we will be discussing some serious issues tonight that concerns the people of Liberia, the country, the only nation that we all have in common. Hey, look at my big brother out there watching tonight, Henry Flampo. What's up? What's up? What's up? I salute you all the way out there, man. And a lot of you folks that are out there tonight we'll be discussing nothing but politics. You know, true politics, things that are happening in the country that should not be happening, things that are occurring that should not be occurring, the way and the direction in which the country is heading. This is something that should concern each and every one of us. How do we intend to have peaceful elections when the process itself is beginning to get corrupted? These are some of the things that we want to talk about tonight. How do you want peaceful elections when the system, those that the citizens have entrusted with power, you know, to run the elections, to run the campaign for a smooth and peaceful campaigning to be done, for a fair play to take place. When that system is being corrupted, when that system is being delayed, and information is not forthcoming as it should, this is something that we, as a nation, as a people, should bring uh, to the limelight. This is something we ought to bring because I hate the fact that the elections will go through so corrupted, and when it is corrupted, and whoever that should not be winning wins, and then everybody else just come and say and succumb as in a crowd wolf, as in, oh, they stole the election, oh, did that, and that is why I love the proactiveness. When you are very proactive in life, you always curtail and cut down a lot of hindrances. So this is kind of what's happening in the case of Liberia with the National Elections Commission. You know, being corrupted, knowing fully well you already have red flags raised on you. But we'll discuss that because earlier this morning we saw Montserrat Senator Dallas, Ibrahim Dallas, Darius Dillon, and other well-meaning Liberians who made their way to the national headquarters of the Election Commission this morning. And some of us listened to the address, and it was not pleasant because if we want to avoid riots, if we want to avoid destruction, if we want Liberia's democracy to thrive, to do better, this is the time we need to arrest the situation. You know, it is not only for ECOWAS community to come up to condemn the action when they realized that the system was corrupted, that the key stakeholders and players cheated in the system, and then those who felt that their voice was not heard at that point begin to cry and take action in the street, and you begin to condemn the situation, because this is normally the case of African leaders. We don't want this for Liberia. So we will be talking about that. We'll talk also tonight about the issue of the drug bust, why the continuous drugs burst continue to take place at the Roberts International Airport and other major entry points into the city. The effect of drugs. Of what effect is it bringing to our young people, our children, to the country? What kind of country do we want to see 6 years, 10 years down the road, 12 years from now? That is something we ought to talk about. We ought to talk about the dangers of drugs, you know, the effect of it. So, Liberians, and while I'm going to play you your song, I'm going to share the link as well. And many of you guys can share the link on your various chat rooms, plays as well, while we wait other people to join us tonight. If not, believe me, I will take you through this broadcast and you will still enjoy it. It will still be informative. It will still be fascinating. Yeah, it will. God, I normally use this song in terms of, this is a Kisi song. I love to play all the different dialects and tribes of Liberia music because I love to showcase our culture, because this is who we are. Culture. You know, that Jesus is not done with me yet. God is not done with me. So I have a feeling that God is not done with Liberia yet. And this is the reason why I like to sing this song. So while you enjoy the song with me, okay? Life is very, very hard. Life is not easy. Zag and Jiba, those days, man, when we were boys growing up, man, it was no fun. This music, this is one music that still lives on. It still does a whole lot better. It's a whole lot better. Those days, we normally used to say, when we were we, where were they? That is what we talk about. When we were we. Those days, where were they? The days, going to deck on tea, doing all that, club nights, skipping away from your parents and all of that stuff, and trying to beat it out in the morning, late in the morning hours, so trying to sneak into the houses, in your rooms, so that your parent would not be able to catch you or find you. Yeah, I remember that pretty well, especially with my older brothers and my sisters. Yeah. Those of us who were the little brothers, they used to use us, to open the door secretly, come and knock at the window. And that's why when they dish out the rice or the cook, we get the biggest bowl, not knowing why we're getting the biggest bowl with a little bit of meat attached to it. I know some of you people will relate to that. That's how we grew up. Yeah. But folks, this is not what we're talking about tonight. What we're talking about is serious, serious business. Politics is taking place. The President, Dr. George Weah, has just finished speaking to the United Nations, and we want to find out, was President George Weah trip necessary to the United Nations, or was it just a waste of money? We want to know, because in this last hour, when you are just 2 to 3 weeks to general elections, one would say, why is the president taking a 75-man convoy on a private jet to the United Nations? A lot of money. Sleeping in the most expensive hotel in Manhattan. I can only imagine the cost per night. Where you spending $500 or $1,000, $1,500 for a suite, $1,500 a suite for a night. Why your countrymen are languishing in poverty. You spend all of that money. The dimes that the Secret Service, the other people are being paid. All those that escorted the president are being paid. The dimes on a daily basis. Only to go and give a 5 or 10-minute speech at the United Nations. That's it. If this was something given a serious thought, a second opinion into, why is it that the foreign minister who is there to represent the country could not go and just do that? Why is it that the vice president, who is your eye, who is your mouthpiece as well to represent you ably, could not go and do that? That could have saved the country a lot of money. So this is one area that I looked at. How financially disciplined are we to take the nation to a different level? Because he just did not leave Liberia straight to America. Here in America, he stopped in France. All of those to see his buddies and stuff. You cannot do this as a president where you have to leave previously 45 days out of the country. It is expensive, folks. And because of that, the national election is crying wolf that they don't have their $3-point-something million to facilitate the process of free elections in Liberia. Yet, you are having the ruling party is having a 50 million plus budget to run their campaign. But the entity that's supposed to be well equipped to facilitate this process is being handicapped. Folks, we know better than that. We know better than that. So there are a lot of questions we ought to ask tonight. A lot of you guys and a lot of people may not understand. Why is it that the NEC is being handicapped right now? Do they have plans that if they go into the runoff, that there will be no funds available to facilitate that process for a second run. You see what I'm talking about? So Debbie Ada Brown is saying we don't have the money that we requested. So as a result, who's coming on board? You jump right on my stuff like that. So as a result, folks, welcome to the show, man. Lofa Peking. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you getting me too?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Let me finish my thought process. So what we're talking about is the NEC. They need about 3-point-something million left to facilitate the process, even if they have to, the runner-up of the elections have to go into the runoff to facilitate, to support that process for the runoff. They need that. Right now, there's a dark cloud hanging over the National Elections Commission. That dark cloud had to do with them providing the final voter registration roll. That they should have done that 30 days before elections. We have 18 days, if not 17 days left for election. The political parties, the 20 candidates that legally registered, that were certified to run the elections, are sitting quiet, except the main opposition party, which is the Unity Party and its collaborating parties. What is going on? This concerns me because this is a national interest. This has to do with national interest. Free and fair elections. What are they saying? What do they see happening? Today we saw Senator Darius DeLone and few people show up to mount pressure when they're supposed to be a general opposition consensus. If you think that the George Weah, the CDC-led government, is going to put pressure on the NEC, you must be mistaken. Guess what? Everything that's working right now is working in their favor. That's what's happening. So they're going to stay quiet. And if you don't even mind, they are the one instigating it to make sure that it goes that way. Folks, we know better than that. Why is it that you cannot publish the final voter roll? For people to be, the importance of it has to do with people will receive all the different precincts, the polling stations that people, all those that register, legally register, that have been certified to vote, those people will know which precincts or polling station that they will have to cast their vote. That is how important. And that will also help to validate the previous results when everybody registered versus this. Transparency is all the people are requesting. And NEC is sitting there dumbfounded, closed out, because they have the interest of the government. Welcome to the show, my brother. What's going on?
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure being on the show tonight. I listen to what you're saying. You know, well, my volume. Are you getting me?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm getting you.
Okay. I say it's my pleasure being on the show tonight. You know, for me, I've been on the I'm not really a son at the National Election Commission, but I'm always there to get information as it relates to this ongoing October 10th election. So not too many the national election is doing to make sure that this election is free, fair, and credible. There are a lot of things that they needed to do, but they are not doing it as an entity or as a body responsible to provide these pieces of information to the public as it relates to the election or the conduct of the election. So there are lots they need to do, to be frank.
There's a lot to be done. And those of you who are following us, I'm putting a link. I'm putting a link right in there in our broadcast, our online listeners. If you want to join into this conversation, you just need to click in and I will bring you live with us. So there's a link put right into the chat room uh, comment section so you can get in if you do want to come live to comment on these important issues. So Jasper, you
So,
were over there today. You were at the
mhm.
election commission. You cover it. What's your finding? What did you see? What's your observation?
First of all, on the part of the opposition, I see some sort of uh, there have been unity within the opposition. I think if you can remember, it came a time the opposition community came out together to protect their votes. They had a memorandum of understanding where all of them came together to protect their votes in this coming October 10th election. But
Mm-hmm.
fortunately, to see that today, and they were not in their numbers, or they were not many of them. I can say only the United Party, who is so concerned about what is going on from the NEC, standpoint of from the NEC side. So I did not see any other political party there beside the Unity Party alliance, that is the Unity Party and the MDR and other collaborative political parties that are aligned with the Unity Party were there to seek redress from the National Election Commission on yesterday, because about 12 o'clock now, on yesterday. So we only saw the likes of Abraham Darius Dillon, who happens to be the senator of Most Colorado County, and he
Right?
flagged the issue on in the house, and also flagged the issue on one of our sister network, and he made a pronouncement. He want to work there to make sure that the national election publish the final voter roll up, which NEC responded to on Darius Day on that, and they will do that with time indefinite. And I think it was weakling on the part of the National Election Commission, because you cannot come with you cannot present your conduct events and does not go along with your conduct event. I think is a failure on the part of the National Election Commission, and it's also a failure to the part of the other political parties, opposition political parties, and to see such a thing happening, which the National Election Commission come up and they give their guidelines and they are not going by it, and up to now you don't know where you're going to vote, how many person going to vote to the precinct, and there are frauds. There are so many people who do multiple registration, and up to now they can tell you how many person register, and this should be an alarming situation to the opposition bloc. But it's only concerning the opposition unity party as it is right now.
What do you think? Do you think the other political parties are already thinking that this election they have already lost? That is why they are not mounting a lot of pressure as compared to the Unity Party and its collaborating parties? Because if the essence of this question is they all the 19 of them want to unseat George Weah. That is their
Exactly,
number
sir.
one concern. They all want to unseat him come October 10th. But then this process needs to be transparent. And the corruption is beginning now. It has begun. Because when I say it has already begun and it is being uncovered, you realize just a day ago there were fake voter ID cards that were found. Was it Maryland, one of the counties, with
Yeah,
someone alleged to be a sedition with a printer and all that has been confirmed. 40 with names and those who are computer people tend to understand this better, because what you can do in that is, because there were rumors going around that people were buying voter cards, that seditions were buying voter cards as well. So when they get your voter card, they give you $10, they take a picture of it, then they will go and duplicate that. So they are in the process. I have a feeling they have been working in the process of duplicating those cards, as many as they can, and then they will send them to those various persons, because you can only have, if 200 people were registered to this polling station and NEC come out as in 250, it will raise an abra. It will raise a lot of questions, right? So when they come up with that final list, wherein they are fake, they were able to find about 29,000 up to 30,000 plus, fake, voters, people who voted, not voted, people who registered that were not allowed to register. So they weed all of that out. All of that was out. Now that they came up with this, and they have these agents, secret agents, masquerading in towns, in villages around the country with secret machines, paying people cash and copying all their voter cards and stuff, and duplicating them, and then sending them back to the headquarters with those numbers. And NEC will now go to work and input those into the system. So those are the people. So now that you have the actual card, you have been given $10 or $20 for your card, and the day of election you show up with your valid card. It's going to show in the system that you've already voted. That you have already voted. That is what this is, the corruption in itself at the highest peak, where it has already begun. So to uncover this before the election, and then coupled with the delay strategy that NEC is using right now, giving a room for these kind of fake IDs to come in, as many as they could create a problem. So when I see people like Darius DeLong and well-meaning Liberians who see that this process is already having a dark cloud and there is corruption already taking place, there's voter laws already being broken, I realize this is the best time to do it, instead of doing it when the results are announced. This is the best time to do it. So you will let the international community know that there's something is happening that is not correct, that is inappropriate, that is corrupt.
So, in my own mind, what I've been observing, or what I observed for the turnout of the opposition bloc, because since the beginning of this identical campaign, and I've been observing not so many people, not too many political parties are already in the race. That's my observation. And even those of our followers can bear me witness, and those of us in Liberia can bear me witness. There are only two political parties that are already being discussed in Liberia right now, right? The ruling CDC and other the Unity Party. So right. other political party will feel that they feel reluctant, thinking that they are not in the race. People are not discussing them. But these are political parties that have registered and went through the rank and file, of the National Election Commission to be accredited and qualified to go through this process. But to avail to give a back kick to honor the political power, to honor Unity Party, and not going to collaborate with them to seek redress from the National Election Commission, I see is a deceive, it's a deceitfulness from the part of the other political parties that have come in, or that's supposed to take the matter of authority in the country to seek the well-being of the Liberian people. To see that the National Election Commission will provide her own calendar of event, her own calendar of the National Election Commission, and cannot go by it, right? The voter roll of this supposed to be published the 18th, and today is the what? Today is the 23rd.
We have 17 days to go to the elections, bro, and the final voter roll is not out, and they are still saying that maybe next Friday, and it's not even a show. It's not showing the public. So what's going to happen? The impediment there is, Jasper, is that if, let's say, it comes Friday, We have 1 month, no, not 1 month, 1 week or 10 days to elections. Now, the political parties that are running, with, at that point, we have to scramble. They're scrambling as to what do we need to do. Now they have to go through all that process. They have to now be able to use that limited time frame to be able to send all of their polling inspectors, those who will be to the different polling stations to protect the votes before they distribute all of that. It's going to take time. Time will be against them. So it's like a jamming situation. The NEC is strategically planning to jam the main opposition party, which is the Unity Party. Right? This is what's happening. This is what I foresee. Now let's put them on the wall. Let's put their back on the wall. Let's see what they can do. Yes, the government has the wallet. They have everything put in place because they have the wallet, my man, to the country. They can ditch in Samuel Twerk and send in money overnight, this and that. You know, how in the world you're going to be running a campaign for that with a budget of 50 million plus, but you can't provide 3-point-something million to the Election Commission to smoothly have this process facilitated. Welcome to the show, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
What's your take? What's your take on all of what we've been talking about? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, let me say thanks to you guys for the show tonight. It's very interactive. It's educative, and I think that these are things some of us need to speak on as professionals. We think that having a better Liberia should be all of our priorities. For me, I think that the National Elections Commission / the ruling party or the government of Liberia is not proceeding well because every one of us have been in the vanguard of preaching a free, fair, and transparent elections to have an election that will be very much conducive for everyone to participate freely. But for me, my own personal analysis or disappointment has been in the National Elections Commission. They've been crying. Yeah, they've been crying that, oh,
this guy's having some
network issues. The money has been given like say pay or take pay. Someone will say take and pay small. But we think that NEC is an independent body and it should be sponsored or supported because all of us are praying for peaceful election.
Right.
People, you cannot mix politics with everything. If you make politics with education, you will get a damaged educational sector. If you mix politics with health, you will definitely get a damaged health sector. So you cannot chairperson Deviata Brown as I say, she foresee that there will be no second round because or no runner because funding for this year elections is yet to be released in full. So what is happening? What's happening with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning? So what has been with the government of Liberia? What is going on? Somewhere the guys need to wake up and do something because this is one of the most talked about heated election in our country.
Yeah.
Everyone are concerned about these elections. Everyone, even international partners and donors are all concerned about this election. So this election is not about joke. I tell people there is not football fee, there is not little game we are playing, but there is something about democracy, and not just democracy, but a free, fair, and transparent election. What is happening? What is going on with NEC? CEO and Jasper, as we speak now, the FRR, the final voter roll, but no, should be made publicly.
Yeah.
For people to know how many registrants and within the 2 million of the present date, the FRR is yet to be released or published by the National Elections Commission. What is going on? Who is paying a double gain? So these are issues more going to be flagging. The FRR gains campaign because they would know how many, right? How fight to participate in the pool. But at the present, we are yet to know. That's why you saw on yesterday morning, supporters, saw people from the UP, people with from the Broom movement or Council of Taiwan, with T-shirt, I mean, Barry Alexander, by the comings of the CPP at the headquarters of it in terms of protesting, to give them some update as to what is happening. For me, I think that NEC and the ruling party is proceeding wrongly. You cannot mix politics with democracy. We should be free, fair, we should be independent. What is meant for NEC to conduct this election should be given to NEC, and let the Liberian people speak. It's not about party. Let them speak. If they speak for the religion person of Weah, bravo to person of Weah. If they feel disenchanted to retire him, yes, they can retire him. It's not about family shit. Election, there's not family issue. There's not NGO what we're talking about. We're talking about what will bring peace and what will bring dissatisfaction in our country. So for me, CEO and Jasper, I think that the National Elections Commission and the Ministry of Finance, which is the government of Liberia, is definitely, I mean, definitely proceeding wrongly.
Just to add up to what you are saying, Emmanuel, to tell you, let me tell you the truth. As for me, up to now, I don't even know how the voting process is. To be real, I don't know why we're using the metric, or we say using the old form of our voting process. It's still unknown, and NEC is not really doing well to the Liberian people. And for me, I will not be. It will take me no time to understand the voting process, right? But how do you expect, or how do you expect those who live in the far, in the interior, right? Those who live in the villages, you expect, or when they will let them know how to vote, how they will vote, right? Those who live in the villages will let them know, and if you let them know, because we just have 3 weeks to the election. And up to now, there's no good civic education and nothing. 3 weeks to the election. And up to now, there's no good civic education and nothing. 3 weeks to the election. And up to now, there's no good civic education and nothing. 3 weeks to the election. And up to now, there's no good civic education and nothing. There's feedback. 3 weeks to the election.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback. 3 weeks to the election.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback. 3 weeks to the election.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback. 3 weeks to the election.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback.
Jasper, there's a feedback. There's a feedback, Jasper.
Feedback. See you? Are you getting me? Yeah. See you? See you? Are you getting me?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah. We had a technical problem, but I think we resolved them. There was a feedback, you know, so we try to work on it. But anyway, so like I was saying, Theo, my own observation is the oppositions are not united. They are not united in this election.
The opposition are not in position.
Yes, because they are not. Because they are not standing for what they are for, right? And I believe that there are some opposition have already give up in this election. They have already gave up. So the only opposition that's on it taking the ruling establishment to to that heated argument is the Unity Party, right? Yeah. So majority of them have gave up. Because if they are not gave up, we should have seen them today at the National Election Commission.
Do you think though, let me hold you right there. Do you think that because the time frame for them to go out there and protest was too short? Because it was just one day in between when it was announced. And so even though the process today by the opposition, the major opposition bloc, which is the United Party, was not bad. That was good. That was a good signal. They sent a good message that we are watching. Don't mess with our votes. Don't mess with the elections. We are watching. And the other opposition parties that are all part of this process, we are here to protect you. You should be part of us. You should have your number one interest in this. As long as you have invested money into this process, you want to see this process go through free and fair. You don't want to see Devietta Brown and her team and the entire NEC team being corrupted. You don't want that. So this is what's happening, folks. We need to make sure the Liberians need to rise up. Wake up from your slumber. Wake up. They need to be aware. I mean, why you keep jumping in and out?
I think they are not ready. The opposition, some opposition political parties are not ready for this country. They are not ready to take the burden of this country. That you are asking whether it was too soon to come out to seek redress. That even an hour is very important. Look, that you don't take anything when it comes to election. You don't take anything for granted, right? You don't take anything for granted. You have to use all that you can to make sure that you do the right thing. But if you can't do that, you who is the major opposition, if you can't do what is right today, tell me, if you assume the matter of authority or the presidency, what will you do? Already, you've been condemning the very act the ruling establishment have been carrying out in this country. So tomorrow, it clearly tells you that there are some people that will come into this country or that will rule this country that they will carry on the same act the ruling establishment is carrying as they claim, because they are condemning the act that is being carried out by the ruling establishment, and they can't even come out to tell the ruling establishment, look, you the one put the National Election Commission, you the one commission them, so they need to do the right thing, and you are not telling them to do the right thing. So what do you expect? So I feel that some of them, they just want, to be well known in Liberia that these are people who got money. Yeah, because there's some in Liberia, if you got small money, you come and register your political party, and they give you the permit, and then you just go and start running around with certificate. But I think it's about time that I think it's already glaring that the country, Liberia, need two-party system. That is the Unity Party and that of the CDC. Because in everything that happens in Liberia is about the Unity Party and that of the CDC. I don't see the need of
a lot of people will not want to hear that from you, you know, coming out of your mouth. But what I want you to realize is that the other opposition political parties that are running, some of them will win senatorial seats, some of them will win representative seats on the ballot. Some of them will win. So this process is just fair enough for them to make sure they follow that it is free and fair. But the biggest question is, do you think, you know, to our audience, that the coming elections will be free and fair? Knowing now the dark cloud that is hanging over the National Elections Commission, this election commission was appointed by this ruling party of George Weah, all these commissioners. So in their mind, they feel they hold some sort of allegiance to the government, to the president. So it's going to take a lot of fight, a lot of fortitude in order to succeed. I always used to say that to unseat a certain president in any African country, it's not something to play with. It's not an easy thing. Yes, we have seen the numbers come out. Crowds, pool of crowds, like just what we watched September 17. People coming out in the rain all over. But if those votes come out and they are suffocated and they don't show to the ballot box, what do you expect? What do you expect as a people? So this is why it's so important that all the opposition leaders should have something in common, where not just respecting the Flemington Declaration Agreement, but to follow through, as in call a spade a spade. Deviator Brown, you are deviating and you are breaking the rules here. You are procrastinating on the effort, and you are creating a dark cloud over the Election Commission. And when you do create a dark cloud over the Election Commission, the recipe for that is disaster. That's what will happen.
CEO, you know, if you make mention or if you ask this question, or do you think that elections will be free and fair? I can simply say there's no election conducted anywhere in the world is been free and fair. It's only been minimized when it comes to being free and fair. It's only been minimized on a narrow road. But I have not seen any election that has been free and fair, right? But in Liberia, let's put it in our own scenario. In Liberia, CEO, it will shock you that that this election, where there will be fraud, where there will be manipulation, where there will be disenchantment, will be the interior side, where you will not have people who are well equipped to reach to the very people that are supposed to vote. Okay, let's take for instance, I hail from Weah, Lofa County, right. And then you assume that somebody who is in the village that have not seen any electronic device to vote on, or that have not known this identical voting process, how do you think this person going to vote? That's where the manipulation will start from, because the person who will be responsible will tell them,
to teach them how to vote. Free and fair is going to say, go to number 18.
Who to vote for?
And put your thumbprint right, your thumbprint right there.
But now we're expecting the National Election Commission to reach in the Liberia counties, in the towns and villages, where they.
So are you saying that there has not been enough voter awareness?
But that, I'm telling you, even me, I'm here. I don't even know how am I going to vote, right? I'm telling you reality. I go to the National Election Commission on a daily basis. You know that. So I don't even know how am I going to vote. I don't know. So what's about those who live in the Liberia counties, who live in the villages?
Yeah, that Omar, that Papera coming from the village and walking distance and miles and coming to come and cast their constitutional mandate.
But
And that vote is being corrupted. That vote is being cheated. That vote is going to somewhere else where they don't want their vote to go. How fair is that?
They're blind. They're blind. Up to now. You know, it's just that we don't have the opportunity to bring any blind person on the show to ask them how they're going to vote. They will not tell you nothing, CEO.
No.
They won't tell you how they're going to tell them.
Let me tell you this. There was a question that was posed. There was a quick press conference that was held yesterday by David Brown with the pressure that is being mounted on her. And one of the journalists asked, the blind, what do you do with those who cannot see? How do they vote? Or those who are dumb? There is nobody there. There's no way provided like it's normally here in the US where a dumb interpreter is studying to interpret in their sign language, right? To give them the direction. This is what's being said. They are confused. They don't know. They don't understand. So all of that group, the dumb, the blind, they are disenchanted. They are disenfranchised. They are out of the process. Because if you take a blind person to the voting pool, someone is going to aid them, someone's going to help them and tell them, they're going to tell you, okay, I want George Weah to be, I'm voting for George Weah. But the person who's helping in the process is going to direct that person to put a thumbprint to CD, not to CDC, to the party.
Other political party.
Just made the process corrupt because someone would say there are inspectors, there are observers who are watching the process. But mind you, a lot of these observers on a day of polling, there's a lot that goes wrong. Sometimes somebody wants to use the bathroom. If there's only one person representing that political party there, who is there to observe the process when that person wants to go and ease themselves? Those are some of the things that matters. All of that needs to be, because every vote counts. Every vote.
This election will be one of the most corrupt elections in Liberia. Because
the most corrupt election in Liberia. So that means what happened next door to Sierra Leone is what Liberia will be experiencing.
I'm saying this, CEO, because the lack of civic education to sensitize or to educate the people how to vote, it will signal in the ears of the people, or even in the international community, that it will be one of the most fraud election ever in Liberia. Because there's no civic education going on. That's my main point in this whole election. There's no civic education that's reaching to the Liberia counties. Nothing. So, like you are talking about the blind person, right? Mm-hmm. You are talking about the blind person. How do you think the person going to vote if they are not educated within 17 days? If they are not educated within 17 days, up to now, those that we're going to vote for, the 20 political parties that register up to now, they have not been published. The senators, the representatives, they are not being known to the public. That as to how you're going to vote, the role, the number in which they are placed in on the national election ballot paper, you don't know. Will be 17 days. So tomorrow will be 16 days.
Isn't that why I used to ask the question when I used to have my previous shows as to, is Liberia ready for this election? Are Liberians ready for this election? The voice of the people, the voice of the masses, is the voice of God. Are you willing? Freedom is never free. Someone will have to sacrifice their blood. Freedom is never free. And for those of the freedom fighters that we see stepping up to the plate, when the movement calls for it, there will come a moment in every history, in every time, in every country, every tribe and nation. It calls when that moment came for South Africa, for Nelson Mandela to rise up. When that moment came here for Black freedom in the United States, Martin Luther King had to lay down his life. Freedom is never free. What are Liberians? What are Liberians, our leaders, those who are fighting for this freedom? Are they ready? Are they prepared? Or are they just going to be so diplomatic? Or the election, the process was not free and fair and condemn it and sit down? It's not what they're going to do. While the nation languages in poverty, in complete chaos, especially with what is happening now, every port of entry in Liberia, every major airlines that lands in Liberia, Jasper, this is what you get to see with the latest Kenyan airline that just came in. Drug burst, marijuana, heroin, cocaine. This. When is this going to stop? When is this going to stop? Folks, when can we learn this? This is happening back to back at the Roberts International Airport. If this comes off of the Kenyan airline, right, diplomatically, they're supposed to have an understanding between the two countries where drug trafficking should not be taking place. And this went through diplomatic means. When you land at the Roberts International Airport or any major airport and you have a diplomatic passport, there are certain searches they don't do on you. You get to go through the VIP line. That's what happens. So you have that diplomatic immunity given to you. So if someone who has been given that diplomatic passport, who has that diplomatic immunity to undercut, not to go through the process like everyone else, has drugs or is in trafficking with the government, what do you expect? This is what is happening. Our VIPs are involved into this stuff that is happening at the Roberts International Airport, that is happening to the major border crossing points in Liberia. You know how many people get to go to jail here in America for doing drugs, for illicit drug trafficking? When they catch you, America doesn't take this for granted. So when a country is going through this kind of process and the rules put in place are being bypassed by the diplomat, by the hierarchy, by those in power, when is this going to stop? Because the effect of this is what I am furious about. The effect of drugs, what it does to our youth, to the next generation of our people, of our country. The effect, it gets people involved, the youth involved into sex, how you call it, sexual slaves. Some of them become sexual slaves, sex to slaves. Because when someone is high on drugs, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, what do you expect? You can sleep with them. Men will take advantage of you and sleep with you. 2, 3 men can sleep with you. That's what happened. Our women, our girls can turn into sex slaves. HIV, it causes HIV, to spread. These are some of the things. You see a high rise of crime. When drugs infiltrate society, you see a high rise of crime. This is what happens. We don't need this. When are we going to graduate out of it? When are we going to stop? When with someone who has a child, Mr. President, you have a son, you have a child. Imagine if your son was engaged into drugs, where you're talking to him, he doesn't care about what you say to him. In fact, he's cursing you over it. What will you do? What will you do? Every parent should take this serious.
You know, when it comes to the issue of justice in the country, the government, have not done well when it comes to the just issue into this country. Because for the fact that saying they sent the trust issues in this country, I think you show us a picture of a lot of different substance arriving at the arriving at the RRA. Even it have been alarming to the international community that Liberia is no longer safe when it comes to trust issues. And you are also aware, CEO, that the 100 million worth of drugs that entered this country and the government of Liberia lost that case. It was very frustrating. And I think you also saw that report coming from the international wire, that is the BBC, the VOA, the CNN, and other international media outlets. They carry it for a certain government to lose such a case of 100 million worth of drugs enter this country, and nobody know how these guys enter the country, where enter, who was in charge of this, and they're not just, this government have not been able to really tackle the issue of drugs business. That was the same case in a case of the former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf when it comes to corruption. She admitted that corruption was one of her major challenge in when she served the 12 years she served in Liberia. So I think this government, I know one day when President Weah will be interviewed, and I know he will admit to the fact that I think his government fell on the issue of drugs business. And if you can see that we that live in Liberia, our youth, our brothers, our sisters, just drugs issues. If you enter the ghettos and you see the number of our youth taking the drugs, they don't even stand straight. They don't even talk to you in a respectful manner.
When you take these are drugs, right?
The hardship of the creed.
That's right. When you're going through a major surgery, when you are going through a major surgery in a major hospital, they have drugs that they inject you with monitoring. And monitor, someone who is specialized in that area is there focusly, mainly to watch you, to make sure that they are only putting a certain quantity so that the surgery will go without you not feeling the pain. And by the time the surgery is over, it's out of you, and they give you the painkillers that will help you to go through the pain until it can subside. This is what our boys, our children, our girls are taking stuff. And they are crazy in the street, banking their heads to the wall. And we want to post all of that on social media, and we're proud of it. And to get social media ratings and likes and stuff, when you see these young people, these are our own brothers and sisters, our own children, and we take pleasure in just posting all this crazy stuff online. Some people are taking advantage of those people being hurt. The way they are investing so much drugs into them, some people are taking advantage of that by getting Facebook likes. But this is why we are the network that speaks truth to power. This is why we are independent. This is why we are not being sponsored by any political person, individual. Keep your money if you think you're going to buy my independent thought. You can't buy me. Because what? I will stand up for what is right, even if I have to stand alone. Even if I have one viewer on this platform to speak truth to power, to speak what is right for society, I will stand up for it. Because why? The brother who's sleeping in a graveyard right now, the sister who is sleeping in a graveyard, that's someone's child. That's someone's daughter. that could be doing well, but because drugs has infiltrated the society beyond all human comprehension, because Liberia is now beginning to be used as a transit point for drugs, for illicit drugs. This is not who we are. I have every reason to be curious.
No. CEO, even I think the issue of drugs is being also politicized in this election, because if you drive alone, if you drive in Liberia, those of us who move from one end to another to bring up news and bring up information to the public, it will shock you to know that there are people who, because of politics, they are embracing the coach, right?
Yeah.
When we drove to District 16 into Nuku Town, you know, it shocked me to see.
We want kush. We want
Yes,
kush. Are you kidding me?
exactly to that.
Our women, our men, our boys are saying that.
How can we politicize? How can we politicize, drugs in politics? How can we politicize this kind of a thing? We want kush. We don't want this. We want kush. Because you don't want somebody and you are saying you want something else. You want something that will harm you. You want something that will harm your children. And some of them, to be real, they are not even people who have their children on the street. These are people who have their children living in America. These are people who have their children going to the very good schools that are in Liberia. These are people who have their children eating the best of food. These are people who have their children living the best of life.
Oh,
these are people who are,
y'all think those people got their children sitting in Liberia? They don't have their children there.
So they want other people's children to suffer, to be living that reckless life so that they can continue to enjoy the luxury of time in his country. But coming out to say you want coach, you want drugs, you don't want this, you don't want that, and to politicize this issue of drugs in this country, it really shocked me. And everywhere we enter, you will always see, we want coach, we don't want coach, we want coach, we don't want coach. What does it mean? What are we driving to? Is this the kind of a Liberia we want tomorrow? Is this the kind of a country that we're yearning for to be? When we travel in Ghana, in other countries, you say the poor countries are developing. Have you ever heard of Nigerian or Ghanaian or American telling you they want substance, they want drugs, they want this, they want that? Who will take you serious? Who will really take us serious? Because we want to politicize everything that comes into this country. People are dying on a daily basis. People, this coach, I've seen guys who have taken this coach and they kill themselves instantly.
Yeah.
Beating themselves, hitting the wall, right? Hitting the wall to the extent, blood leaking from their nose. Then you are saying that you want coach? Why, if your child was involved in that action?
And because of that violence, the United States foresee. Because of that violence, do you know what the United States is doing right now? When you look on the U.S. Embassy website, this is what they're doing to all citizens that are traveling to Liberia right now for these elections. When U.S. Embassy, when the U.S. State Department or U.S. Embassy is posting emergency numbers on their website for assistance for all U.S. citizens, that means they foresee something. You see that? I didn't pick that up. It's on their website. You can go right now and look it up. That's the first thing that will pop up on the U.S. Embassy website. They gave all the numbers out already to all their citizens that are in the country, that if someone attack you or something happen, call these numbers right away. Why? Because they foresee something. They foresee something. So those of you Americans who are American nationals that are traveling for this election to Liberia, you ought to be very cognizant of this. You have to be careful. You get these numbers into your cell phones, wherever it is. that if something happens to you, because they are predicting that this election will now go down without a fight. They are observing the process. They have as many observers in the country. But America, you know, you're supposed to realize Uncle Sam has a way of sitting down and look at you to attack yourself and fight. I remember during the war in Liberia. Thank God I went through that war and never one day fought. But I remember where the embassy is now used to be called Greystone. We used to be hiding. We were the one that used to camp at Greystone. When Prince Johnson comes from the other side and Roosevelt Johnson on the other side, the army side, they attacked. While Uncle Sam is sitting down, watching, we laying down flat at Greystone under the bullet. They're flying over us. They watch until when they're tired, then they fire, they get in between, they despair the other people go one side. We don't want to go through that. Some people are still traumatized, and a lot of people are still feeling the effect of war. This is not what we want. We want free and fair, happy elections. It is a battle. You're in the ring. If you lose, walk away with pride. Don't corrupt the system. Don't fight. So this is the essence. This is what drugs does. So when these drugs are all in the country, and these Zogos, our own brothers, we call them Zogos, have all these drugs, and they are infested. They will manipulate and use them. As in the election was not fair, they take onto the street. They don't care about death. When you already high on drugs, you don't care whether bullet coming at you. You don't. These are the people that will cause trouble. For the United States government, through the American embassy in Liberia, to put all these alerts on their website. For all of you Americans that are traveling to witness or to vote, those of you Liberians, naturalize. You got to be cognizant of this. The U.S. embassy is warning. And all we get to do or get to have, Jasper, is this, right? From our, look at this. Our ECOWAS brothers. ECOWAS. Just because Dallas, Deron, the Unity Party, and other people went out there today to vote, to protest, to mount pressure, this is what ECOWAS came up with. This is the statement they came up with. Right? They don't want violence. They don't want this. They don't want that. But they don't realize that the violence has already taken place. The system that's supposed to be free and fair is already clouded. It has already been corrupted. And they need to put pressure on Deviator Brown and the National Election Commission to make sure that the process is free and fair. They don't do that. Instead, they want to watch the people that are unhappy with the process. They want to
you know, one of the problems I have with the ECOWAS is they don't secure provide security during the process. But when it's gone out of hand, they come in to release statement and come out with statement to condemn the eye. If you look at all the coup, all of the coup that have been taking place in Africa, they will sit there and they will not take seize of the situation, but they will wait after the coup have taken place. Then they come up with condemnation. Who does that? Who really does that?
ECOWAS is a toothless bulldog. That's all they are. They want to know for condemning situations. They're not going to come in and do whatever.
They're getting the information here. They have their observers on the ground. They have their observers in Liberia as we speak. They have their observers. These observers report to them on a daily basis. And they themselves know, and it's published on the website of the National Election Commission. So the violence that wanted to take place today, because they were clear, the opposition were clear that they were not going for violence, they were going to seek redress. So if any violence is going to spark in there, it was going to be on the part of the National Election Commission, because they said they're going to publish the FRR on the 18th. And today is the 23rd.
Yeah.
Today is the 23rd.
But on top of it, they are not even sure the Friday that they said maybe. Watch your words. These are
They say
diplomatic words that
indefinite.
they use.
They say
That we
indefinite.
are hopefully maybe Friday of next week, meaning 1 week from now. That means it could go beyond that. And within that time frame, there are illegal people who are secretly printing thousands and thousands of fake voter cards. Who knows what's happening behind the scene? These are the questions that people need to ask. Who knows what's happening behind the scene, that time frame? So is it that the NEC is involved into what is happening? Are they in cohort of what is going on? That is what people need to be asking and questioning. Why are they derailing the process? Why are they holding and procrastinating on the process so they can compound and put in all what is out there, right? For it to come to the flow. So when they present it, they all quote unquote, we're going to encrypt the data, we're going to lock it down and send it out to the political parties and stakeholders. Complete nonsense at that point. Because what? The corruption has already taken place. This is the war that is already going on. The only war that ECOWAS and other people see is when people take up to the street and they realize that the process was stolen. That is when they want to come in to condemn. They say, stand down. War is already going on. The war for a free elections is already going on. That's what's going on.
Calling for free and fair and transparent election when you are not, as a body, you are not ready giving in all of your time and making sure that you release a statement or advise the body that is responsible to conduct the election. And when action is taken and people are on the right path and you begin to bring out statement, I think it's not timely. The ECOWAS need to rethink and come in and advise the National Election Commission or to make sure that they go according to their calendar of event or calendar of or election calendar, so that they can breach anything, because nobody coerced them to publish a calendar of event. Nobody told them to tell them to say that the 18th should be they should happen. So who knows if they would tell us today, because I was there, if they tell us today that the FRR will be published time indefinite, how do we even know that the election want to take place on October 10th?
No, they're gonna give the FRR 1 week or 2 days to election, and they expect the opposition political parties to ably have all their representation fully represented to all the different precincts or polling stations around the country, knowing fully well that most of those counties is going to take time to even transport your observers, right? It's going to take time because of the road conditions. The roads are bad. The president will be coming to Liberia, and not Liberia, Lofa next week. President Weah. It's going to take him days to get to his destination. The Lofa road.
If the people are delaying the process like this, how do we know if they are going contrary to what they publish to their website? How do we know that the election will even take place on October 10th? That's my question. How do we know they will not come up with another excuse? They will not say the different thing.
Yeah, they will say we don't have all the mechanisms that we need to put in place.
And one of the things I will observe that the funding, they are not getting all of the funding yet. They have not getting all of the funding to carry on and they've been crying about funding.
I'm going to show you what will happen, Jasper, is this October 10th election will take place. But under constrained situations where they will jam the opposition party or opposition side so bad. But then if they go for a runoff, now the 3.5 or 3.2 or whatever million that is left to facilitate that other runoff between the two, parties, is what Samuel Toy is sitting over on top of now. He doesn't want to release it. But CDC, folks, I don't care if CDC wins, United Party wins. All I care about is I want the process to be free and fair. That's all that matters to me. Mama Liberia is all that matters to me. I don't care who wins. If you win free and fair, you are our president. And I hail you for that, and I congratulate you for that. That's all that matters. But we want the process to be free and fair. And this is what we as a network will come to give you the pieces and nuggets that could impede the process, that could stop the process from being free and fair. That's all my concern is. Yeah.
See what like you're saying.
In front of George Weah for 6 years, say give me food to eat. He doesn't know how I live.
See what like you're saying. Our concern is the election should be free, fair, and credible. So that peaceful, because we don't want chaos into this country. Liberia already come from the 14-year civil war, which some of us were not even born at the time. We just experienced certain part of that identical war, and we don't want to go back to that days. We're urging all the stakeholders within this election that they do what they're supposed to do, that this election will be free, fair, and transparent. And we don't want anything that will hinder the movement of Liberians. Already we are challenged. The economy is challenged. Right now, there are things in this country that it can be found easily. To tell you again, the gas is going on an increase. Rice price is already on an increase. Other basic commodities are on an increase. The US rate, the US rate is on an increase. Everything in Liberia now is on an increase.
The US rate is still 150, right?
It's still 188, 189. So we don't want this election to drag us into another thing. We are urging all stakeholders, all those who are responsible, to make sure that this election is free, fair, and transparent and credible. We are urging them to do all that they can so that this election will be peaceful.
We will have to discuss the rest of the topics maybe tomorrow, because especially I will want to talk about the president's visit here to the UN. That's President Josh Weah. His address to the United Nations. Was his trip necessary here to the U.S.? That's the president's message right there. We would love to bring it. The message is actually on our platform. For those of you who want to go through it and read it, was his trip to the U.S. necessary? But me right now, if you tell me about things being necessary in our country, you know what I want? I want a Liberia that will have this, that will produce all of this bitter ball. I want a Liberia that will produce eggplant.
You're talking about normal days.
Corn. I want a Liberia like this that will produce okra and kettle. That is the Liberia I look forward to. That we can export this. Peppers, onion. Liberia is rich with all of that, where we can do it. This is the Liberia that I envisage. This is the Liberia that I want. All of that. Do you know? Go and Google the importance of pepper to a human body. Pepper does a lot of stuff. And Liberia is one of the major producers of pepper, but we don't export. These are some of the things. I want to go all day. Kettle, you know what kettle can do? Some of us that like to eat bitter stuff. Bitter stuff, like kettle and garlic. Garlic is right there. Garlic has enormous ingredients, enormous stuff that can take care of your health.
Follow. I have some background when it comes to agriculture. Agriculture is the bread basket for every country. Look, if you can provide any other job, but if you bring in agriculture companies to produce or to have mass production in a country, it creates in agriculture got a lot of job opportunities. It creates a lot of jobs.
It does.
And look, if you have an agriculture company in a country, you have almost 5 companies in the country that deals with agriculture and producing different commodities or products. You have a lot of people being employed. You have nurses, you have doctors, you have teachers, you have accountants, and you name the rest. Because those companies will build schools, will build clinics, will need everybody. They will need skilled labor, they will need unskilled labor to work on their farm. And every country that depends on agriculture depends on the growth, and the country will grow to the extent that you yourself will not even know how the country grow. Agriculture is very much important.
It is.
I have not seen no other company or work that employed more than agriculture. I have not seen that. I'm yet to see that. To be frank, because if you talk about accountants, they are there. You need accountants, you need doctors, you need nurses, you need teachers, you need everybody on board. You need
the very people that will consume all the products,
yeah,
will consume that alone. I mean, once you feed, a hungry man is an angry man. So once you take care of the belly, you have a happy home. That's all that matters. But Jasper, the show is over for us. I just want us to wrap up and shut this down because I know it's very late at your end, and tomorrow we'll be here at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is 10 p.m. Liberian time for the Kisi Dialect Show, and you will have where we have relay on local radio stations as well. Today we saw Honorable Thomas Fala and the entry of CDC in Weah. Is this something to compare with when you saw the last time, September 17th, last Sunday, CDC in Weah? These are some of the things we'll be talking about tomorrow as well. It's a big deal. Weah is Weah opting in for a new representative? Because I know that, there's no way George Weah will be able to win Weah. I know that. That's, if I'm gonna have to be biased about that, so be it. But he cannot beat Josh JMB in Weah. But I don't want to get into the local politics of representative and the Senate aspect of it. But follow us on our platform. You be the judge. Decide what you see is happening in Weah. Very interesting. CDC, not CDC, JMB, and the Unity Party and collaborating parties are in Grand Bassa this weekend. We see already what's happening. They have an ovation of welcome by the Bassa people, Belt, Yumli Kanga, and everybody else. They're doing well. So follow us tomorrow. Follow us on the platform. If you can see us live, follow us on the website www.talktvmedia.com, as well on our YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitter, Twitch. You'll find Talk TV Media Network. Google us. You'll find us too on Google. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be launching an app for you guys. When you download your app, you ready? Boom! Information coming to your phone. That's it. So, man, what's your final word to our viewers tonight so I can take leave of you? It's late. It's morning to your time. It's just a few minutes to 9 p.m. my time. And I'm ready to get out of here and go to bed.
I have 20 minutes to 2 o'clock in Liberia. You're already in the morning time.
Wow.
I want to say thank you to our many followers, our many listeners that follow us on a daily basis. We want to say thank you. This is your platform. Because of you, we are here, and because you are here, you are there. And keep following us. And whenever you see our live broadcast, we'll always urge you to share our live broadcast and also invite somebody to form part of the broadcast or to watch the broadcast. And if you also want to someone or sometime want to participate on our political shows, our link will have our link in a comment section. You can also click on our comment section link, and you will definitely hit our live broadcast, and you will participate and have your say. We are an independent platform. We owe no alliance to any political party or any individual. We are for Liberia and Liberians. Thanks. My name again, I'm Jasper, here in Liberia.
Wow. I mean, I was looking for a song to play, but man, the song I was trying to promote the Kissy people tonight. But you know, let me see if I can get this one. If it doesn't go down well. I'll be here Sunday on TV Media. It's unpredictable. And the Sunday show, we're going to continue with the politics Monday after the election. Or if we're going to have to put these 2 shows on Sunday, we will. So follow us.